Hello, John. There's a lot of news in the media at the moment in Ireland and abroad about Apple, that Apple owes Ireland 13 to 19 billion euros. Apple has had a relationship with Ireland for 37 years. So my question to you is, should we take the money and run?
Before I answer that question, and good morning, a lovely morning in the 1st of September 2016. Before I answer that question, I just refer to the EU and this question of what we're going to discuss about Apple and the money that they're purporting to owe Ireland. The EU Eurostat, responsible for gathering figures and for tax purposes from the EU member states that are in the euro, their figures required Ireland to declare that we had a growth rate of 26% in 2015, when the growth rate was actually less than 4%. Even the less than 4% was good. So there's no rhyme or reason to what the EU requires, and that's an example of it that was publicised a few weeks ago. The EU has caused Ireland various expenses, including introducing, we've been obliged with the property tax and the water tax and various other charges. Now, so to deal with this issue of should we take the money and run, the answer to that is no. First of all, there's no guarantee that we get that money. That's number one. It's very irresponsible for the media and perhaps the EU to speak, the spokesperson from the EU to talk about Ireland being owed 13 billion. According to our revenue commissioners, who are responsible for the collection of tax, both VAT, income tax and corporation tax, which our corporation tax is 12.5%. They are emphatic that they collected the 12.5% on taxes due in this country. The question that the EU has taken on itself to interfere with the tax laws of a sovereign country like the Irish Republic is an invasion, and it should be resisted on principle. The tariff of the 13 to 19 billion that's been held out by the media gives an indication of their lack of insight and expertise in this important area.
Okay. What would you say is a long-term consequence for Ireland if we were to take the money? If we were to insist that we were going to take that money?
Well, you see, first of all, you're going to interfere with the potential employment of foreign companies, particularly in the information technology sector. Apple, as you rightly said, have been here 37 years. They started off with relatively a small number of employees, but over the years they have invested in Ireland, have been very happy with the quality of the educated Irish workers that they employ, and present it's upwards of 6,000 workers. They are making further investment, and that could very well rise to 7,000 or 8,000. So they are significant employers. Apple themselves have said that they're going to use every means to fight this unjust retrospective tax that the EU have imposed.
Okay, but we could do with the money, for example, with 13 billion euros, you could build 100,000 houses. That would create a lot of employment and go a long way towards solving the housing problem.
Of course you could, if somebody gave you 13 billion. Apple have no intention of giving 13 billion to Ireland or anyone else. There's no guarantee of this 13 billion or 19 billion that we might get other countries will have a claim on that because this was profits that were apparently generated in EU countries. So it's a hornet's nest.
Okay. Considering we've agreed with the EU that any windfall comes our way in 2016 and 2017, any windfall will be used for debt reduction in Ireland, because we owe a lot of debt. So it's probably, for long term, we could probably solve the debt problem, but short term, it probably the 13 billion wouldn't be of much use.
Well, you see,
if because we've agreed that with the EU.
Well, don't forget, what you agree with the EU and what they implement is two different things. We agreed with the EU, and other countries that are in the EU agreed with the EU, I presume, that their tax laws would be respected within the EU. I think that's a fundamental democratic right of any government of a member of the EU to be able to implement their tax regime as they see fit for the citizens of their country.
Do you think Ireland perhaps is being used as a scapegoat, for example, by the EU on tax harmonisation across the EU?
That's a distinct possibility because Ireland has a small population of upwards of 4 million. Now, a lot of people have come in from other jurisdictions in the Eastern Europe and other countries throughout the world and have inflated the population of the Irish Republic. Now, that's another matter. So it's very difficult to know what the objective of the EU is, but that could be very well one of them, tax harmonisation, because the EU Commission, which runs all these matters, even though it is a EU Parliament, it's the EU Commission that implements and decisions. So it's very hard to know what their objective is. It is interfering very much so in the tax laws of a sovereign country. The media would want to focus on that and get away from this idea of 13 billion about building homes and hospitals and this, that and the other. That's pie in the sky, and sooner they realise that the better. The EU, if any windfall comes of that nature to this country, which I very much doubt, it would have other consequences too serious to contemplate. But if such a thing occurred, well, we wouldn't be building extra houses and all the rest of it. That would have to go down to pay the debt, the massive debts that we owe, and it would only be a trickle in that area. We are not balancing our budgets at the present time because of our expenditure exceeds our income.
So go back to my first question, you can give me a simple yes or no. Should we take the money and run?
No, because we will never get that money, no
No.
matter what they say at the present time. I think one can see some reasons for Britain voting to leave the EU. They may know more than what we know, and if this is the sort of attitude that the EU is going to adopt, we might very well have to consider our position, I would think.
Okay. Thanks very much, John.
Thank you.